Hello, Moto.
Say hello to the Segway HT.
iPod Hi-Fi, it's home stereo reinvented for the iPod age.
The 2000s were a thrilling era of innovation, where tech companies unleashed bold ideas that aimed to change the world. However, not every gamble paid off. Some products were simply ahead of their time, while others left consumers scratching their heads. From futuristic gadgets to radical redesigns, this decade saw its fair share of spectacular failures. Join us as we explore the 25 innovative products from the 2000s that failed miserably.
One of the things that's really exciting about this technology is that, simply put, if you can walk there, this device will take you there.
Unveiled with massive hype in 2001, the Segway PT was billed as the invention that would revolutionize urban transportation. This two-wheeled, self-balancing personal transporter used advanced gyroscopic sensors and was entirely electric, a marvel of engineering at the time. Tech enthusiasts and investors expected it to reshape cities and replace walking or biking. However, it quickly became a commercial disappointment. High costs, regulatory hurdles, limited practicality, and its odd appearance made it unappealing to the general public. Despite some niche adoption by mall cops and guided tour operators, the Segway never achieved mass-market success. Ultimately, it became more of a punchline than a product, symbolizing the gap between bold innovation and real-world usability. Production officially ended in 2020. After the Segway PT's futuristic promise fell short of reshaping urban transit, could HD DVD spark a new format war in home entertainment?
Welcome to HD DVD, spectacular high-definition picture.
When it came to the high-definition home entertainment battle of the mid-2000s, HD DVD entered the ring in 2006, backed by tech giant Toshiba and supported by Microsoft, Paramount, and Universal. Promising crisp visuals and cheaper production costs compared to Blu-ray, it seemed like a strong contender. However, the format war quickly turned brutal. Sony's Blu-ray gained key allies like Disney and Warner Bros., eventually securing more content exclusivity. Consumers, confused by competing formats, gravitated toward the more widely supported Blu-ray. Retailers like Walmart and Best Buy began pulling HD DVD players and discs by 2008. Despite being technologically solid and cost-effective, HD DVD couldn't survive the momentum behind Blu-ray, making it a textbook case of how market support often trumps innovation.
Novo Moto Rocker com iTunes.
Hello, Moto.
In 2005, Apple and Motorola teamed up to launch the Motorola ROKR E1, the first phone with iTunes integration and a bold attempt to merge mobile tech with Apple's music ecosystem. But despite the hype, the execution flopped. Apple imposed a 100-song limit regardless of storage, transfers were painfully slow, and the phone's chunky design and dated interface didn't help. Though it was a technological first, the ROKR felt more like a compromise than a breakthrough. Apple, already exploring its own smartphone ambitions, quickly distanced itself from the project. While the ROKR E1 marked an early step toward mobile music convergence, it failed to strike a chord with consumers. Today, it's remembered not as a game changer, but as a misstep that pushed Apple closer to the iPhone. After the ROKR stumbled on execution, could Sony's Milo connect teens with Wi-Fi powered messaging and music in a fresh way?
This is the Sony Milo, MYLO, which stands for
Targeting tech-savvy teens in the golden age of instant messaging, Sony launched the Milo, My Life Online, in 2006 as a compact Wi-Fi-enabled communication device. Shaped like a slide-out keyboard PDA, it offered Skype, AIM, and Google Talk access without requiring a cellular plan, a novel idea at a time when data plans were pricey. It also included music playback, web browsing, and photo storage. But Milo's downfall was swift. It lacked mobile network connectivity, making it useless without Wi-Fi, a serious limitation in 2006. Additionally, the rise of smartphones, which soon offered far superior functionality, quickly overshadowed it. Poor marketing and a niche audience sealed its fate. Despite a second-generation upgrade in 2008, the Milo never gained traction and was discontinued quietly.
Supercomputer in an 8-inch cube.
With a futuristic, minimalist design that looked more like a museum piece than a desktop computer, Apple's Power Mac G4 Cube arrived in 2000 as a bold statement of innovation and elegance. The compact, fanless machine housed a powerful G4 processor inside an 8-inch clear acrylic cube, praised for its striking aesthetics and silent operation. But that beauty came at a cost. Priced significantly higher than comparable Macs, the Cube offered limited expandability and faced technical issues, including hairline cracks in its case. While overheating wasn't a widespread problem, the fanless design raised concerns about long-term thermal performance. For professional users expecting flexibility and power, the Cube fell short. Despite its design accolades and cult following, sales were underwhelming, and Apple suspended production less than a year later in 2001. Following Apple's Compact Marvel's commercial flop, could Nokia's N-Gage successfully merge gaming and mobile phones?
E for everyone. From EA Sports, now on N-Gage.
Launched in 2003, Nokia's N-Gage aimed to merge a handheld game console with a mobile phone, offering Bluetooth multiplayer, MP3 playback, and mobile calling, features well ahead of their time. But the execution missed the mark. Its infamous side-talking design, awkward button layout, and the need to remove the battery to change game cartridges frustrated users. Despite a bold attempt to challenge the Game Boy Advance, the N-Gage's limited game library, high price, and clunky ergonomics kept it from gaining traction. Nokia released a refined model, the N-Gage QD, in 2004, which fixed some flaws but arrived too late. The hardware was discontinued in 2005, and the N-Gage brand quietly faded out by 2009. Innovative in concept but flawed in execution, the N-Gage remains one of gaming's most memorable misfires.
Folio represents a whole new product direction for both Palm and for mobile computing.
In 2007, Palm introduced the Folio, a device it boldly labeled a mobile companion. Essentially a lightweight sub-notebook designed to sync with Palm smartphones for email and document editing. Weighing just 2.5 pounds with a 10-inch screen, it offered instant-on capability and ran a Linux-based OS. The idea was to provide laptop functionality without the bulk. However, it puzzled both consumers and critics. Why buy a laptop-like device that depended on your smartphone, especially with netbooks and smartphones rapidly evolving? Priced at $500, it lacked compelling features to justify its cost. Facing mounting skepticism and internal doubts, Palm canceled the Folio just weeks before launch, citing the need to refocus on its core smartphone business. It became a cautionary tale in tech misjudgment. After Palm Folio's cancellation, could Sega's Dreamcast redefine home gaming with innovation ahead of its time? When it hit U.S. shelves in 1999 and carried into the early 2000s, the Sega Dreamcast was a technical marvel that introduced features far ahead of its time: built-in modem for online gaming, a VMU, visual memory unit, with a mini screen, and an innovative game library. Titles like Shenmue, Jet Set Radio, and Soul Calibur earned critical acclaim. Yet, despite a strong launch, the Dreamcast struggled to maintain momentum. Sega's prior hardware missteps, like the Sega Saturn, had already shaken consumer trust. Then came the PlayStation 2 in 2000, boasting a DVD player and enormous third-party support. Developers jumped ship and sales plummeted. Unable to compete, Sega discontinued the Dreamcast in 2001, marking its exit from the console hardware business entirely.
He doesn't care much about principles, do you?
Launched in 2005, the Gizmondo was a bold, handheld gaming device that aimed to do it all, offering GPS navigation, text messaging, a camera, and multimedia playback well ahead of its time. But with a steep price, a tiny library of around 14 games, and buggy performance, it quickly lost appeal. Behind the scenes, things were worse. Tiger Telematics, the company behind it, was plagued by financial mismanagement and criminal scandals, including executives tied to organized crime. Lavish marketing, celebrity endorsements, and a flashy showroom couldn't hide the chaos. Discontinued within a year, the Gizmondo is remembered less for its innovation and more for its spectacular implosion, an ambitious idea buried under greed, hype, and dysfunction. After Gizmondo's spectacular downfall, could Microsoft's Zune HD mount a credible challenge to the iPod's reign?
Zune HD. It's a premium portable entertainment experience.
In 2009, Microsoft unveiled the Zune HD as its sleek answer to Apple's iPod Touch, boasting a vibrant OLED touchscreen, HD radio, and impressive multimedia capabilities. The device was praised for its elegant design and user interface, offering wireless syncing and an HD video experience that seemed promising. However, despite these upgrades, the Zune HD struggled to carve out a meaningful market share. The entrenched dominance of the iPod ecosystem, combined with limited third-party app support and a smaller content library, made it difficult for Zune to attract loyal users. Moreover, Microsoft's inconsistent marketing and the rise of multifunctional smartphones quickly rendered dedicated media players obsolete. By 2011, the Zune line was discontinued, marking another failed attempt at challenging Apple's reign.
Big buzz in the tech community. Google Wave. Everyone is trying to get their hands on an invite.
In 2009, Google launched Wave, an ambitious attempt to revolutionize communication by combining email, instant messaging, and document collaboration into a single real-time platform. Promising seamless interaction with live typing, multimedia sharing, and integration of various communication forms, it aimed to replace traditional email and chat. However, Wave's complexity quickly became its downfall. Users found the interface confusing and the concept difficult to grasp, with little guidance on practical use cases. Additionally, limited third-party adoption and lack of clear purpose hindered its growth. Despite initial excitement and innovative technology, Google discontinued Wave's development by 2010, officially shutting it down in 2012. It remains a cautionary example of innovation that failed to align with user needs and habits. After Wave's shutdown, could Kodak's EasyShare printer dock make photo printing effortless in the smartphone era?
The Kodak EasyShare camera and printer dock. Real Kodak pictures, real simple.
Introduced in the mid-2000s, Kodak's EasyShare printer dock let users print photos directly from digital cameras or memory cards. No computer needed. It featured a dye sublimation printer and, in later models, an LCD screen for previewing shots. Designed for simplicity, users could dock a Kodak camera, press a button, and get a 4x6 print in under a minute. At launch, it offered impressive convenience for casual photographers. But as smartphones with quality cameras and wireless printing became widespread, the appeal of a bulky, single-use printer faded. Combined with pricey consumables and limited flexibility, it couldn't keep up. The EasyShare dock quietly disappeared, a once useful idea overtaken by faster-changing digital habits.
The new chocolate by LG is sweeter than ever.
Chocolate from LG.
Launched globally in 2006 after a 2005 debut in South Korea, LG's Chocolate KG800 made waves with its sleek design, glossy black finish, and touch-sensitive red-lit keys. Part of the Black Label series, it appealed to fashion-conscious users with MP3 playback and a vibrant screen, premium features in the pre-smartphone era. Its bold look and marketing success helped it stand out, but the momentum didn't last. As smartphones like the iPhone redefined mobile tech in 2007, the chocolate's lack of apps, limited internet, and basic specs quickly aged it. LG released follow-ups, including the new chocolate in 2009, but the series faded soon after. Still, it remains a nostalgic icon of mid-2000s mobile style. In 2003, Sony released the Aibo ERS-7, its most advanced robotic dog yet. Equipped with cameras, microphones, touch sensors, and AI software that let it recognize faces, respond to voice commands, and develop a personality. Its lifelike behavior wowed tech fans and showcased early breakthroughs in home robotics. But priced over $2,000, the ERS-7 was far from accessible. Its niche appeal, high upkeep, and lack of practical use made it more of a luxury gadget than a pet alternative. In 2006, Sony discontinued Aibo as part of broader cost-cutting. The brand returned in 2018 with a more advanced, cloud-connected model, but at an even steeper price, reaffirming Aibo's role as a high-tech novelty, not a household staple. With Aibo's niche appeal limited, was HD radio destined to remain a niche curiosity rather than revolutionize radio listening?
HD radio is the most widely deployed digital AM and FM radio system in the world.
In the early 2000s, HD radio emerged as a digital broadcasting technology promising higher sound quality, more channels, and additional data services compared to traditional AM/FM radio. Supported by major broadcasters and promoted as the future of radio listening, it aimed to revolutionize how audiences consumed music and talk shows. However, despite its technical advantages, HD radio failed to achieve widespread adoption. Consumer confusion, the need for specialized receivers, and limited content differentiation hindered its growth. Moreover, the rapid rise of internet streaming services and satellite radio overshadowed HD radio's appeal. Car manufacturers slowly integrated HD receivers, but uptake remained lukewarm. Today, while still operational, HD radio remains a niche technology that never fully disrupted the traditional radio landscape as originally envisioned.
So today we're introducing the iPod Hi-Fi, and it's a companion product to the iPod.
Released in 2006, the Apple iPod Hi-Fi was a sleek, minimalist speaker dock designed to bring high-fidelity audio to the iPod crowd. Priced at $349, it promised audiophile sound from a compact unit. But despite Apple's signature design, it fell flat. The lack of wireless connectivity, reliance on a physical dock, and absence of features like radio or app control made it feel limited even by mid-2000s standards. Audiophiles found its sound quality underwhelming compared to similarly priced competitors, and consumers weren't convinced it justified the premium. Though backed by Apple's booming brand at the time, the iPod Hi-Fi never found its niche. Quietly discontinued in 2007, after just 18 months, it remains one of Apple's rare stumbles, an elegant misfire in an otherwise dominant era. After iPod Hi-Fi's quiet exit, could Sharp's open-source Zorus PDA challenge the dominance of Palm and Microsoft?
Zorus, the personal digital assistant from Sharp that gives you the freedom to write it.
In the early 2000s, Sharp introduced the Zorus, a Linux-based personal digital assistant, PDA, that aimed to offer greater customization and open-source flexibility compared to its Palm OS and Pocket PC rivals. Featuring a touchscreen, QWERTY keyboard, and expandable storage, the Zorus appealed to tech enthusiasts and developers who valued its powerful capabilities. However, despite its innovative Linux foundation, the device struggled to gain mainstream traction. Limited software availability, a steep learning curve, and less polished user experience compared to Palm's intuitive interface or Microsoft's enterprise-friendly Pocket PCs hindered widespread adoption. As smartphones began to emerge with integrated PDA functions, the niche market for dedicated PDAs like the Zorus rapidly declined. Sharp eventually discontinued the line by the mid-2000s, overshadowed by evolving mobile technology trends. In the early 2000s, Sony tried to revive minidisc by marketing it as a compact, high-quality alternative to CDs and MP3 players. With digital recording, A-track compression, and in-device editing, it appealed to tech-savvy users. The 2004 launch of Hi-MD boosted storage to 1 gigabit and allowed PC file transfers, improving versatility. But minidisc couldn't compete with the rise of MP3 players like the iPod, which offered more storage, convenience, and drag-and-drop file management. Sony's reliance on proprietary software like Sonic Stage only made matters worse. While minidisc remained popular in Japan, it never caught on globally. By the mid-2000s, interest faded. Though technically impressive, it became a relic of a fast-moving digital audio era. After minidisc's decline, would Dell's DJ music player make any headway against the mighty iPod?
Today we're going to see if the Dell DJ Generation 2 is obsolete.
Dell, yours is here.
In the early 2000s, Dell ventured into the portable music market with the Dell DJ, a hard drive-based MP3 player aimed at challenging Apple's growing iPod dominance. Launched in 2003, the DJ offered competitive storage capacity, support for MP3 and WMA files, and appealed to budget-conscious consumers seeking a lower-cost alternative. However, Dell's offering lacked the sleek design, intuitive user interface, and seamless ecosystem that made the iPod a cultural phenomenon. Early Dell DJ models featured monochrome displays and relied on clunky software like Music Match Jukebox, which paled in comparison to Apple's iTunes experience. Additionally, Dell's marketing push was limited, and the device struggled to build brand loyalty or cultural relevance. By 2006, the Dell DJ was quietly discontinued, a short-lived attempt to enter a market Apple had already claimed.
Exelum digital cameras. So sleek and stylish.
Casio's Exilim series broke new ground with ultra-compact digital cameras boasting rapid startup times, sleek designs, and impressive image quality for the era. The Exilim quickly gained popularity among casual photographers who valued portability and quick snapshots. However, as smartphones with increasingly sophisticated cameras flooded the market by the late 2000s, standalone digital cameras like the Exilim faced an existential threat. Consumers preferred the convenience of an all-in-one device rather than carrying a separate camera. Despite Casio's efforts to innovate with features like high-speed shooting and video capture, the brand couldn't maintain its foothold. Eventually, Casio exited the digital camera market in 2018, a victim of the smartphone's relentless encroachment on compact camera territory. Following Casio's retreat was Sony's Clypeg NX705 the multimedia PDA professionals had hoped for. Released in 2002, Sony's Clypeg NX705 was a bold attempt to redefine the personal digital assistant. Running Palm OS 5, it combined standard PDA tools with high-end multimedia features, audio and video playback, a built-in rotating camera, and expandable memory stick storage. It was aimed at tech-savvy professionals seeking more than just contacts and calendars. However, its high price tag, chunky design, and limited battery life made it a tough sell beyond niche enthusiasts. While undeniably ahead of its time in hardware, the NX705 struggled in a market leaning towards simpler, more affordable PDAs and early smartphones. By the mid-2000s, Sony phased out the Cly line entirely, as the PDA category itself began to vanish in the smartphone's shadow.
Presenting the Sony Recordable Minidisc, available at Nobody Beats the Wiz.
In the early 2000s, Sony's mini-disc Walkman stood out as a sleek, durable alternative to CDs and cassettes, offering digital sound quality, re-recordability, and onboard editing features that appealed to audiophiles and tech enthusiasts. With the ability to split, name, and rearrange tracks directly on the device, mini discs provided a level of control few rivals could match. But the format's strengths were soon eclipsed by the rapid rise of MP3 players, most notably Apple's iPod, which offered larger storage, seamless integration with digital music libraries, and no need for physical media. As consumers embraced the convenience of digital downloads and flash storage, mini discs began to feel cumbersome and outdated. Although Sony continued producing mini disc hardware into the early 2010s, the format's popularity waned by the mid-2000s, ultimately becoming a niche relic in a fast-moving digital era. As physical and digital mingled awkwardly, could Nintendo's e-reader successfully blend cards with Game Boy gameplay?
The game is inside the cards. New e-reader for Game Boy Advance.
Launched in 2002 for the Game Boy Advance, the Nintendo e-reader was a quirky add-on that let users scan specially printed cards to unlock minigames, levels, or in-game items. Compatible with titles like Super Mario Bros. And Animal Crossing, it offered a novel mix of physical and digital interaction. But the experience was clunky. Loading content often required scanning multiple cards in sequence, and full functionality demanded link cables and extra hardware. While it appealed to collectors and die-hard Nintendo fans, a lack of third-party support and its cumbersome setup limited mainstream adoption. Despite embodying Nintendo's trademark creativity, the e-reader quietly disappeared by 2004, remembered more as a curious experiment than a lasting success.
Only Verizon Wireless has the new Trio 700W smartphone, the first Trio to run mobile.
Released in early 2006, the Palm Trio 700W was among the first smartphones to merge phone, email, web browsing, and touchscreen features into one device, powered by Windows Mobile. Aimed at business users, it brought productivity to the palm of your hand, with support for Microsoft Exchange and multitasking. But it aged quickly. Its bulky form, sluggish performance, and limited app support struggled to keep pace with sleeker, faster rivals like the BlackBerry, and, soon after, the iPhone. The stylus-driven interface felt clunky as touchscreens improved elsewhere. Though the 700Ws marked an important step in smartphone evolution, it was soon discontinued. Overshadowed by a mobile revolution it helped ignite, but couldn't keep up with. After the Trio's decline, would Sony's PSP Go betting on an all-digital future for handheld gaming pay off?
Take your gaming adventures with you on the go with the brilliant new PSP.
In 2009, Sony launched the PlayStation Portable Go, PSP Go, a sleek, all-digital reimagining of its popular handheld gaming console. With a modern sliding design and no UMD disk drive, the PSP Go relied entirely on digital downloads via the PlayStation Network, signaling a bold shift toward a disk-free future. However, the concept quickly drew criticism. Gamers were frustrated by the inability to play their existing UMD collections, and the Go's higher price point compared to other PSP models made it a tough sell. Limited digital content and slow internet speeds further compounded the device's struggles. Despite its compact form factor and forward-thinking design, the PSP Go failed to gain traction and was quietly discontinued by 2011, a rare stumble for Sony in the handheld gaming space.